Hey everyone, Darcy here. I had the privilege and opportunity to have a go, or rather not have a go, but have to experience FSD beta in the States, so mainly Austin. Huge thanks to James Dahmer, who actually troubled his sister to give me a ride and also agreed to let me film down this process to share it with you guys. So I'm doing a first impression of FSD beta, as there are quite a few things that I do not understand enough about FSD beta at this point of time. So I'm going to float these questions. I'm going to float these questions to James, and hopefully he can get back to me on why the vehicle is doing certain things, just to confirm whether or not I get this information correct. So I'll do my best to do a follow-up, or maybe on Twitter I'll just type out what are some of these things that I found out after posting this video. So we did bring this car to Austin and try out FSD beta right date in the city center. So Deborah, who was very kind to help me bring me on this ride, also told me that this is the first time for her. So she also didn't really know what to expect from the vehicle. So over here we see that the left lane, we were expecting a left lane turn, but the vehicle took filtered into the left lane a little bit too early. So then the vehicle realized that it was in the wrong lane, and then it corrected itself, and then now it has put into the right lane to do the left turn. Now take note here, because in Austin, the traffic is quite weird, right? Sorry, the roads is quite weird. So sometimes when you do a left turn, you have a center lane that is dedicated for people to do left or right turns. And I think as of now, the vehicle still isn't too sure where to turn into. So it turned into the, it kind of turned into the center of the road, but then it realized it was wrong. So it corrected itself and went to the correct lane. Yeah, over here we were just changing the navigation so that we could find a new location, and the vehicle stopped for the stop signs and also pedestrians. So over here we have quite a lot of constructions happening, so it's quite interesting to see how FSD beta actually handle all these things. So one thing I've realized is, if you just saw it, right, the steering wheel tend to make a lot of adjustments before it does the turn, or even during the turn. It's almost as though the vehicle is trying to figure out just when it should take the turn. And that's something that I kind of want to figure out, like, why does it do it? I mean, if it's a right turn, if it already sees the curb and the corners of a lane, then why does it have to adjust the steering wheel so much before it does a right turn? So if any of you actually do know why, please do post it in the comments below. Then down here is what happened was we did a right turn into this road, and the car figured out by itself that we have turned into a one-way street. So then it's able to use all the different lanes. Yeah, it's then able to use all the different lanes. Yeah, so one thing that I've really found very interesting about FSD beta is you can really see the vehicle trying to make decisions while it's driving. And over here again, you see the steering wheel trying to correct itself and then turning into another one lane, one-way street. And it also avoided the bus lane on the right. So the bus lane is highlighted red on the road. Interestingly, there are no visualizations on the screen that says that there's a bus lane on the right. So again, I'm not too sure whether the car really is avoiding the bus lane, but apparently Deborah told me that the vehicle does know that there's a bus lane and it will avoid the bus lane. So we have to do a right turn ahead. I'm pretty sure normally the car would already be on the right lane. However, it doesn't go into the bus lane until the last minute. If you saw it before, it went into the bus lane and then went back into the normal road. And now it's going to do the right lane, the right turn. Again, so it's not easy, right? As a driver who's operating this vehicle, if you have used autopilot or FSD before, you know that if you nudge the steering wheel just a little bit too much, you actually do cancel away autopilot or FSD. So when you do use FSD beta in the cities, right, I'm pretty sure it's going to take some time to understand the vehicle and not accidentally disengage the vehicle. So I thought Deborah was super amazing with the drive. She would shadow the steering wheel. Yeah, she would shadow the steering wheel just to make sure that she wouldn't disengage autopilot. So over here, another thing that was quite amazing is here you have the lanes that are blocked, and then the vehicle has come to a stop. And it also recognized that someone else behind has given way to the vehicle, and it slowed down so that the Tesla can come out. It feels very intuitive to us, right, as if you're driving. But we have to take note that this is not us driving right here. This is the car understanding that a driver from behind is actually giving way to you and taking the action to drive or merge into the lane that it wants to. So overhead, we do have constructions ahead. It's blocking the road, so there is no way. So what happens is, for a human driver to do it, you have to drive into the center of the road, which you should not be driving in the center, because in Austin, the center lanes are for people who want to do left or right turns. So the vehicle then did not do anything, right? If you see on the screen, the car is really trying to decide where and which lane it should take. But in the end, we had to take over and do the drive instead. So over here, we need to do a right turn, and honestly, on my side of the road, I did not realize that there was a pedestrian, but the vehicle saw the pedestrian and waited for him instead. So Tesla FSD beta actually prioritizes vulnerable road users the most. So humans, cyclists, there's a very high, the tolerance is quite low, right? Like it gives them a huge amount of safety margin, just to be sure that we do not clip them or drive into them. Now over here, we're trying to do a left turn. Now a left turn is similar to a right turn here in Singapore, or for right-hand drivers. So it turned to the left lane to prepare for the turn, and then it actually did a super nice left turn, right? It figured out that the center lane was not to be used, and then it went ahead to the right lane. I'm not sure whether it's because there's a vehicle up front, but I don't think so, because you could see the car actually making a decision to turn to the right lane. So yeah. And then down here, we have a bus that is stopped at the side of the road, so the car has to overtake the bus. And what the vehicle did, to me, was fine, but apparently this is something I need to clear, right? What happened was, there was a car on the left, but the car straddled both lanes to come out. So to be fair, if a human driver were to do that, the vehicle behind would give you some space and lean more to the left of the lane, and then both of you will be able to make the turn. But having said this, then it by right, Deborah was saying that it should not have happened. So sorry, over here what happened was quite interesting, right? So the car was doing the right turn, and then there was a pedestrian that was standing right at the corner of the road, and the car saw it when Deborah actually didn't see the pedestrian, and the car stopped for her. So she was crossing the road she had no right of way. It was a red pedestrian crossing. She wasn't supposed to cross the road. So that was one of those scenarios where, FSD is always saying, and it gives priority to humans. So the lady was on the road, and she was just standing there and not even crossing the road. So then the car kind of made sure that she was safe. It was safe to do a turn before going for it. Now over here, again, we see the priority of the FSD beta, right? Again, it chooses the safety of cyclists and human pedestrians. So we're driving along just fine, and you see the cyclist on the right. He appears out of nowhere and crosses the stop line, and the vehicle simply jams the brake really hard. Now, when you watch the video, it feels fine, right? But a regular human driver would not have done that. A regular human driver would have slowed down just enough to make sure that the cyclist was going to stop. So this is one of those things where I think it's going to take some time for FSD to FSD beta rather to really figure out things that are on the road. So if I were to summarize my experience with FSD beta, the first thing I would say that it's really impressive. Then the next thing I would say is there is still quite a bit of work to be done, even in the States, right? So take note that some things to be aware of, okay? Number one, this is my first time experiencing FSD beta. So I've got nothing to compare with. I can't see how beta is improving over time, okay? Then number two is this is not in LA, right? So this is in Austin, and Austin does not get as much testing as LA, so maybe there's less data to work with as evident. You can see that the vehicle is trying really very hard to solve the problem as it drives, which is amazing by itself, right? So once you feed enough data to the vehicle, then over time it knows which lane to turn into. It will be more confident at performing certain maneuvers. But yeah, so with my experience, I do think that FSD beta still requires some work to be done. If it's going to be international, we are going to take quite a bit of time to roll this out globally. If anything, I'm really very intrigued with the technology itself, and I'm going to do way more reading on this and share with you guys what I potentially find. Like how is the vehicle making all these decisions? What is it using to be trained? Why does it react that way? For example, when it comes to safety, who does it prioritize? If it's going to get into an accident with a human, or if it avoids a human and then gets into an accident with another vehicle, who does it prioritize? And these are questions which I think I would really like to have them answered. So yeah, I'll have a follow-up video on FSD beta. So stay tuned, and I hope you like the breakdown of this video. And if you like the content, please like and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys in the next one.